We can look at a vector space of complex polynomials and then look at a space of 3D coordinates. On the surface, their elements share no obvious common ground. But are they truly distinct, or just the same structure wearing different disguises? To answer that, we turn to the definitive text on the subject, Hoffman and Kunze's Linear Algebra. In Chapter 3, they formalize a concept known as isomorphism. In mathematics, an isomorphism is a translation mechanism. It maps every single element and operation from one space into another, preserving the mathematical structure without losing any information. If an isomorphism exists between two seemingly different spaces, any mathematical truth discovered in the first space is guaranteed to hold true in the second. Hoffman and Kunze established this in Theorem 10, stating that any n-dimensional vector space over a field is isomorphic to Fn. This diagram displays three distinct objects: a three-dimensional geometric grid, a matrix of three numbers, and a curved quadratic polynomial. While looking unrelated, they each share a dimension of 3. Because they share that dimension, they map onto each other flawlessly. They are structurally identical. For this mapping to work, the isomorphism has to follow two strict rules. First, it must be 1-to-1, meaning no two items in the first space map to the same item in the second, giving it a null space of exactly 0. Second, it must be onto, meaning the mapping spans the entire target space. Once those conditions are met, dimension becomes the primary differentiator between finite vector spaces. Everything else, whether you write it as a coordinate, a matrix, or a polynomial, is notation. If these spaces share a structure, how do we translate abstract transformations, like rotating a shape or finding a derivative, into computable math? The answer goes back to early computing. Translating continuous operations into discrete arrays of numbers was essential for mainframe processing. To make that translation, mathematicians use an ordered basis. Think of an ordered basis as a dictionary. It locks down the exact coordinates of our abstract vectors so that the terms are consistent. According to Theorem 11, once you pick that ordered basis, you can represent any linear transformation as an m by n matrix. In this diagram, an abstract input vector alpha runs through a transformation machine T. Under the hood, that transformation is executed by multiplying the vector against a specific grid of numbers, matrix A, to generate the output. Theorems 12 and 13 take this further. Adding two abstract transformations, or composing them one after the other, behaves the same as adding or multiplying their representative matrices. The abstract algebra of linear transformations maps directly to the tangible rules of matrix arithmetic. Let's ground this in a concrete problem straight from the textbook's example 15. How do we apply a differentiation operator onto a space of polynomials up to degree 3? Applying the derivative to the basis, 1 becomes 0, x becomes 1, x squared becomes 2x, x cubed becomes 3x squared. Extracting coefficients, variables fade, and numbers drop into a 4x4 matrix. This reveals the null space. The entirely zeroed first column shows constants are annihilated. By establishing a strict ordered basis, matrices act as universal computation engines. They reduce calculus problems into arithmetic. There is a catch. If two observers choose different ordered bases for the exact same transformation, they will generate different matrices. To reconcile this, we use a change of basis matrix, denoted as P. It acts as a translator, converting the coordinates of one observer's basis into another's. Theorem 14 provides the formula. To find the new matrix, multiply the original by P on the right and P inverse on the left. This is similarity. Two similar matrices describe the exact same linear operator, executing the same geometric transformation. When doing this by hand, like in the textbook's example 16 in R2, students often reverse the direction of P and P inverse. The order of multiplication is rigid. Get it backward and the translation fails. Matrix similarity shows that mathematical results remain constant even when observed from differing perspectives. The textbook illustrates this in example 17. If you change the variable notation of a polynomial from x to t, the surface appearance of the equations alters, but the underlying matrix similarity remains intact. These concepts form a logical circuit. Isomorphisms establish when spaces share a structure, Ordered bases provide the coordinates for computation, and similarity confirms that those computations remain valid as we shift our perspective. Ultimately, linear algebra provides a rigorous way to identify when different-looking problems are actually the same. If you found this breakdown helpful, drop a like, make sure you're subscribed, and tell me in the comments